Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we got to talk about that submarine because apparently it wasn't rated for Titanic depths. The tech is cool, but not quite there. Now, this is according to Mark Harris of TechCrunch, and this is interesting and somewhat alarming. Now, the director of marine operations at OceanGate, this is the company whose submarine right now is missing as of this past Sunday, basically as they were trying to get to the Titanic in the North Atlantic, was basically this guy was fired after raising concerns about its first-of-a-kind carbon fiber hull and other systems before its maiden voyage, according to a filing in 2018 that essentially was first reported by Insider and New Republic. Now, David Lockridge was terminated in January 2018 after presenting a scathing quality control report on the vessel to OceanGate senior management, which included its founder and CEO Stockton Rush, who apparently is also missing on this vessel. Now, according to the court filing by Lockridge, the preamble to his report read, and I quote, "Now is the time to properly address items that may pose a safety risk to personnel. Verbal communication of the key items I have addressed in my attached document have been dismissed on several occasions, so I feel now I must make this report so there is an official record in place," end quote. Now, his report detailed, quote, "numerous issues that pose serious safety concerns," end quote, according to his filing. Those included things like his worries that, quote, "visible flaws," end quote, in the carbon fiber supplied to OceanGate raised a risk of small flaws expanding into larger tears due to what is known as pressure cycling. Now, these are basically the huge pressure changes that a submersible would experience as it made its way essentially deeper and deeper towards the ocean floor. He noted that a previously tested scale model of that hull had, quote, "prevalent flaws." Now, carbon fiber composites can be made stronger and lighter than steel, making a submersible naturally buoyant, but they can also be prone to sudden failure under stress. The hull that Lockridge was writing about was made by Spencer Composites, the only company to have previously made a carbon fiber hull for a submersible. Now, this submersible was commissioned by explorer Steve Fawcett for a record-breaking dive, but he died in a light aircraft crash before it could actually be used. And so that's kind of interesting as well. So it really wasn't tested, even though Spencer Composites made the first of the kind. Now, Lockridge's recommendations was that non-destructive testing of Titan, that's the submarine, basically would be necessary to ensure that it is a solid and safe product. The filing states that Lockridge was told that the testing was impossible and that OceanGate would instead rely on its much-touted acoustic monitoring system instead. Now, the company claims that that technology, developed in-house, uses acoustic sensors to listen to telltale sounds of the carbon fibers in the hull deteriorating to provide a, quote, "early warning detection for the pilot with enough time to arrest the descent and safely return to the surface." In other words, they had technology that was listening for potential cracks in or shattering or creaking or whatever of the carbon fiber hull that would alert the pilot to say, "Hey, you're going too far, let's go back up." Now, Russell McDuff, who is a veteran oceanographer and chairman of OceanGate Scientific and Research Foundation, he was that for 3 years, noted that contact with the Titan was lost on Sunday only after an hour and 45 minutes of it diving down. Quote, "This suggests to me that they may have still been in the water column descending the Titanic." This is according to him, talking to TechCrunch in a phone interview. Now, a day after his report, Lockridge was summoned to a meeting with Rush and the company's human resources, engineering, and operations directors. There, the filing states, he was also informed that the manufacturer of Titan's forward viewport would only certify it to a depth of 1,300 meters due to OceanGate's experimental design. The filing states that OceanGate refused to pay for the manufacturer to build a viewport that would meet the Titan's intended depth of 4,000 meters, and for the record, the Titanic itself is about 3,800 meters below the surface. So a depth rating of safety to 4,000 meters would be okay to get to the Titanic. The filing also claimed, though, that hazardous flammable materials were also being used within the submersible. Now, at the end of the meeting, after saying that basically he would not authorize any manned tests of Titan without basically a scan of the hull, Lockridge was then fired and escorted out of the building. A few months after his dismissal, the company published a blog post that laid out its reasons for not having the Titan certified by the American Bureau of Shipping or similar organization. Quote, "The vast majority of marine and aviation accidents are a result of operator error, not mechanical failure. As a result, simply focusing on classing the vessel does not address operational risks. Maintaining high-level operational safety requires constant committed effort and a focused corporate culture, two things that OceanGate takes very seriously and that are not addressed during classification, end quote. And, well, I think they're kind of eating those words potentially right now. Now, following Lockridge's departure, a Titan was tested safely on increasing deep dives, including to 4,000 meters off the coast of the Bahamas. However, it seems one of Lockridge's concerns would soon be borne out. In January of 2020, Rush, the CEO, gave an interview to GeekWire in which he admitted that the Titan's hull, quote, showed signs of cyclic fatigue. Now, because of this, the hull's depth rating had then been reduced to 3,000 meters. That's 800 meters short of actually getting it to the Titanic. During 2020 and 2021, the Titan's hull was either repaired or rebuilt by two Washington state companies, Electro Impact and Janicki Industries, that largely work in aerospace. In late 2021, the Titan made its first trip down to the wreck of the Titanic. Spencer Composites said that basically the Titan was not using its carbon fiber hull on Sunday's dive. Presumably, apart from the hull work, one source familiar with basically this company told TechCrunch that not much with the Titan had changed at all since 2018. Essentially, Lockridge's report and concerns are there you go. Now, obviously, we all hope that the crew, and passenger, the one passenger, this billionaire from the UK, are okay and that this is safe. Hopefully, it's just a communications failure and they'll pop back up having a great trip to the Titanic, and here we are. But with a search area the size of Connecticut and basically no understanding of where they are, both the Canadian and U.S. Navies are literally involved in this search and rescue operation. We don't know, but it's looking more and more like the Titan may be part of the Titanic's, tombstone, if you will, or graveyard. And that's really unfortunate. So it's all so important to make sure that you're getting these safety ratings. And I would not be skipping any of this. If you're going on deep dives and you've got the $250,000 to get a seat on something like this, you better make sure that they have done all the stress testing possible. Otherwise, you're literally going to get crushed under the water, because that's what happens. It just caves in and crushes you. So I'm hoping everybody's okay. I think we all are, but we'll see. But given this news and given these complaints from years ago, and nothing really seems to have changed beyond minor upgrades, that is a very serious concern that this sub simply just gave out and imploded on itself. And there you go. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everybody.